It is with great pleasure and deep respect that I introduce the next four musicians to you. I've known them for a great many years, and I've listened to their music, and I really enjoy it, and I know that they are among the greatest musicians that have ever been in the history of the music. Sonny Rollins, tenor saxophone. Yes, McCoy Tyner, piano. Max Roach, drummer. Max Roach. Working? Max Roach. And Ron Carter on bass.
Is that the only time you played at the White House?
Yeah, that was the first time I played at the White House.
Did you meet, I guess you met Jimmy Carter then?
Oh, sure.
You talked to him?
Oh, yeah.
So you've spoken with three presidents, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama.
That's true. We were invited to the White House when Ronald Reagan was president. But my wife was sick and we didn't make it. So I would have met, presumably I would have met him also. Well, Barack Obama is extremely charismatic. And when I was in the White House to get my medal, the Medal of National Medal of the Arts, I believe. Okay. So we were all in there, the people that were being medaled, you know. And I think I was talking to Quincy Jones. He was one of the people. So we were talking. So Barack Obama came in from another part of the room. And immediately you could feel his charisma. You know, then he said something about, oh, you and Sonny over there talking, what's he saying, Quincy? Some pundits joke, but he had such a strong charisma. Very, very strong charisma. I can see why almost he was, you know, they even though he was a new guy, they said, oh, this guy is presidential, because he has all of the natural attributes of what one would think of as a president should be.
You had a rather lengthy conversation with Clinton at the State Department dinner.
Oh, yeah.
What were your impressions of him? You mentioned that something that you were impressed.
Oh, yeah.
That you mentioned some things in the conversation, he incorporated into his...
Right, into his speech right after that. No, well, Clinton, I can see, I think he was a Rhodes Scholar. So it's evident. He's a brilliant guy. Very, very apt guy. You can see, I mean, he's really on a high level, intellectually, intelligence-wise. And it was very nice meeting him. I know that he had a jazz group at the White House sometime when he was president. I think Illinois Jacket was there, and Thelonious Monk's son was there. I saw it. I saw it advertised at the time. So Clinton, being a aspiring jazz saxophone player at one time. He did have jazz musicians at the White House. You know, I wasn't there at that time, but so he was sympathetic to the music, and he had said some very complimentary things about me at that time in some publications, you know. So he was, when we finally met that night at the State Department dinner, it was as if we'd known each other before, you know.
The Forgotten Man.
Jimmy Carter appeared to me to be a very down-to-earth, as opposed to these other two. He was very like just, you know, your neighbor next door, you know. Very natural guy, very natural. And we spoke briefly, and in fact, I have a photo of us together at the White House that day. And I think he is, I admire him. The fact that he was normal, a natural guy. He wasn't really pretentious, and I mean, he's very good. And I like some of the things he did as president. You know, I mean, I think he genuinely tried to improve things for everybody. You know, maybe more so than a lot of other presidents did, you know, because he was just more of a natural guy.
He's also one of the better ex-presidents. Since the time he's been president, he's been involved with a lot of humanitarian efforts, like Habitat for Humanity, building houses, and just going around the world. And I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, and he's trying to stop conflicts,
Yeah.
all of this stuff. So he's held in high esteem in the world, you know. So yeah, I would definitely put Jimmy Carter as somebody that I admired, you know.
Now, what are your thoughts on this? That here's a guy who grew up in Harlem, a black man, involved in this music, and then at another point in your life, you're in the White House. You're hanging out with the president. You've gone. It's kind of extreme, the transition from just a simple life in Harlem to a global stage with the presidents. What are your feelings on that?
I met many great people. Not I didn't meet them because I was a child, but I was around great people in Harlem. I was around Paul Robeson. I was around Adam Clayton Powell Jr. There were some great statesmen in Harlem. So I had already sort of, as a child, but I'd mingled, so to speak, going to parades for civil rights and all that as a baby, as a boy. So, I didn't feel, wow, geez, I'm the president. It was not like that. And I've been fortunate, or if one would want to say that, maybe I shouldn't say fortunate, but I've had experiences meeting many people, kings, heads of state, prime ministers. I've met people like that, and so it's not a big. It's not something which I would be uncomfortable with.
There's a certain recognition by you being with these people, by getting the Kennedy Center honors, by getting the National Arts honor. A guy who went into his mother's bedroom and just, found a whole universe of possibilities. X number of years later, there you are. Your entire life has been on this journey to play this music, and you're being recognized for your achievements.
Well, it doesn't make me feel particularly privileged because I grew up with so many great musicians. See, and often when I get an award and I'm able to say something, and sometimes you're not able, you accept it, but whenever it's possible to say a few words, I always say, well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate it, and I accept this on behalf of so many great musicians who I learned from and who never got these awards. You see, so when I get an award, it's not I don't think that I'm this big guy that came from Harlem and now I've made it. No, there's a lot of people. Look at Fats Waller. Look at all these. Fats Waller never got a commutation from the president and all this stuff. All these great musicians. Lester Young, what about him? I can go on and on and on and on. So I never felt that I was in particularly exalted areas when I was with presidents or whatever, So these guys were presidents, guys I grew up loving. Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, that's high. You can't get any higher than that to me.